Everybody back? Take me, guys. Those who are here, please. Everybody think quickly. Okay, very well. So most of you are here. So let's begin. Anything up from that code which I sent you? You have tried that, right? It should not have taken you some eight more than 5-10 minutes. Okay. Okay. It is good to see that there are some questions coming in. Okay. Sample seems to be troubling everybody. Okay, let's have a look. What I am indirectly telling here is there is some value. I have assigned a number 10 to a variable n. So now n has a value of 10. There it is. Next, what I am doing is, okay, read my code right to left. What I am doing is, I am doing sample of n and assigning this value to a variable a. So sample of n, what does that mean? N is number 10. If I just run this sample of n, see what it will do. It will take values from 1 to 10 and in random order, because that's what it is. Its name is sample. It is sampling values in random order. It has no certain sense of doing it. What the key thing is, if I run this again, the sample would be something else. This time that random order, it will change because it is happening randomly. It is randomly taking sample from 10 values and put it is of random order. I run it thrice, it would be something else. I run it once more, it is something else. I run it once more, it is something else. So that's what sample function is doing. It is taking a sample of n values from n values, and since it is happening randomly, so that's all that is. Can we fix that? Okay, if we okay, we can think of a way to fix that, but there is a better question than that. Why do random samples? Why do this in the first place? Yes or no? Why we are doing this? I run sample, it is something. I run it again, this time A becomes something else. I run it thrice, this time A becomes something else. Why would I? What is the goddamn reason that I need this? So we will see that when it happens, when it comes handy. Okay, so we will see that sample function. Okay, taking story forward here. So much said about vector operations. Let's come to some functions. Operations, there are mathematical operations. If your vector is number, there can be mathematical operations. Applying some functions on vectors. Say I have a vector, my vector 1, it contains some values and they are not necessarily sorted. What if I want to see in fact, I want you people to do it. What will happen? Think about it. This is a my vector 1. I am saying whether my vector is greater than equal to 5. What's going to happen? What is going to happen? Mm-hmm. You're getting it? Fantastic, Jyoti. Element wise, people, element wise, what it will result in is for each element of vector, there would be a result. It will start comparing 5 with each element. Okay, it is greater, true. It is not greater, false. Again greater, true, and so on. So for 5 elements, there will be 5 results. So that is one thing. What if I want to see which value is maximum in this vector? If I want to see what value is maximum in this vector, there must be some value which is maximum, which is the greatest, right? So there would be functions for these sort of operations. I want to see maximum, max. I want to see minimum, min. Now, what if I want to say I want to arrange this vectors in an order, ascending or descending, maybe. Hmm. Right? There must be some function. So there is a sort function, and we mentioned that like this here in the chat box. Sort my vector one, and it will be sorted. So if I run this, I have my vectors sorted. Yes, Rehan, in ascending order, of course. Acha, you want to sort this in descending order? Is it so? Anybody else? Is there a question about this? What if what if I want to sort that in descending order? Think about it. There should be some function which will sort this in descending order. Uh, Jyoti, decreasing is equal to false. I think that means ascending order, no? If decreasing is false, that means ascending. Decreasing should be true for descending order, no? So this is the time when you start, you should start thinking in the direction. What do you think? Sort is doing what it should do. It is arranging this vector in an order. But what if I want decreasing? Would there be another function? Actually, no, there will not be another function. Then you should get thinking if sort is doing something, but it is not my way. Sort is doing something. My idea was that sort should arrange this vector in an order. It is doing the same, but it is just that it is not my way. So you should get into thinking that let's try help of function and let's see if there is a facility in sort function which can do it my way. Getting the idea? You will not have different functions for for every instance and for everything. If that be the case, you will end up with millions of functions. So there cannot be a new function for everything. Within this function, there must be some facility. So let's go to the help document. Fair enough. So this is the way you start thinking now. When we go to the help document, we say, okay, there is sort or there is order. What do we do with that? So the syntax is sort. There is an element x. X can what? X can be a vector. So we see that down below. There are descriptions of all the arguments it can take, and it is showing you, default syntax. So here you find that your clue, that there is a parameter which is decreasing. So there is a facility. It is decreasing, and it is by default it is false. Let's see in a bit more detail. So we come to arguments. What are the arguments in sort function? One argument which is x. Okay. To sort an R object with class of numeric complex. Okay. So this is basically a vector sort and numeric complex. It is giving you a description. Another argument which can be all the arguments are separated by a comma within function. So this is decreasing. It is telling you it is a logical argument. And what does it explain? It explains should the sort be increasing or decreasing. Here, by default, decreasing is false. It means it is increasing. Now to take a look, just have a look. It is doing that. It is in increasing order. So if I want it my way, I want in descending order. Let's give it a try. Remember, I told you that there would be a syntax and it will go along in entire R session. It would be function. You tell function name, you open parentheses, and you tell argument as many arguments as you want, as many arguments as the function allows. Fair? There in the chat box. maybe run it. Yes, Sonam, I can do that. You don't worry about that. If you have skipped some part in between, you know what I'm trying to do is I explain it, I drop it so that you people can run it and have a feel of it. You can get the hang of this. If you have missed some part, don't worry about it. I will send it in. In uh, proper one proper mail, put together everything. Okay, so I think everybody done with this. Seems like cool. And how are you coping up, Shubhangi and Mudamil? How are you doing? Well, it is nice to see, Mudamil, that you are coping up. I was especially worried about you because you were late. Okay, Shubhangi, it is good to see that your your nerves are calming down. You were way too much anxious in the starting. Good to see that. Okay, very well. So, Manohar, maybe you should put it, you know, keep your chat on that public mode. Let's do that. Keep your questions public so that others can also see your question and what I am talking about. So enough about numeric vectors. Then there are things which will be character vectors. So majorly we will have two types of data. One is numeric, other is the strings, alphabets. So let's see some operations of that another kind. Yes, fantastic. Now your question is public, so now others can see, and now others will know what I am answering. And what am I answering is, why don't you give it a try and see for yourself? Go ahead, no. It is your script file. It is not a stamp paper. Nobody is deducting amount from your bank account. Go ahead, make an error. Okay. Yes, actually the case. Actually the case. You can use function and then there can be arguments, but which arguments? Which this function is allowing? You cannot use any argument whatever you wish. Okay. Okay, let's get ahead with character vectors. So again, please don't type it, or I will drop that in chat box. Now in alphabets, there is not way too much to go about. Say there is a vector. Say there's a sports academy, and they are recording they are categorizing their sports person according to their heights. So they have created three categories: medium, short, and tall, and they are mentioning their heights. So so there comes your height vector. If I print it, it is all. Now suppose at a later stage I find out that this person is wrongly named medium. This sports person is not of medium height, maybe he is of short height. So that's where vector correction and updation comes in. So now, first things first, let's correct this vector. I have made a mistake in my vector. What do I do? Should I go again, as Nikhil said, up, 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 and maybe somewhere I will find where I assign these values and I will correct that? Yes or no? That can also happen, no? It doesn't seem like a good way. So I should be able to have a better method. So here it comes what I am saying, that heights on which location? The location I want to correct. I want to correct location number one. This guy. This guy is of short height actually. Wrongly I have set it that medium, and now I am assigning the correct height to that. So I do that. So now it is getting it. What's happening? Location number one of heights vector, and I am assigning short value short here. So here it goes in the chat box, and see whether it is doing all good. Okay, seems going good. What if I want to say, okay, so correction is all good. I can correct any element of my vector. What if I want to update my vector? As in case, now there is a new sportsman. There is a new guy in the academy, and I want to assign tall category to her. And you have just seen it. Can you count how many sports person are there? What is the way to count how many sports person are there? Yeah, you can see that here because there are six values right in front of your eyes. What if there are 6,000 values? How would you count that? There should be a function. Yes, length function. Okay, so there are six people. So what do I want now? I want a new value to come to which place? Which location? Which location do I want? I know what is existing length, right? It should be seventh index. You are getting this right? So that's where I want this 7% to be. Okay. So on the index number 7, I want what value should come. It should come whatever the height I want to place, whatever as per our convention we want to call this person. Very fine. So far, so good. Now, suppose what we were doing so far, we were trying to do, we were trying to categorize our sportsmen in three different categories: short, medium, and tall. Now, let's say there is another sports person. There is another member in our sports academy. There is a girl and who is extraordinarily tall. She is so extraordinarily tall that we want to create a new category altogether. We don't even want to call her tall. We, we think that this kind of people should come in one extra category. One other category should be there. Yeah, fantastic. Jyoti, you can do it that way. You will not even have to remember what was the last index and it will just do fine. So that is nice to see. Now that's a scalable code. That is what is flexible coding. Great. Okay. However, I was discussing something else. I was discussing a sports person who is extraordinarily tall, and we want to call her altogether a new category, extra tall, so that if further sportsmen come into this category, we'll keep this as a special category, a separate category. So I'm assigning index number 8 and I'm assigning extra tall there. Maybe you have done it by yourself, or are you waiting for copy paste? Well, so this is time when we introduce to a special data type. What are the data types which you have already seen are character, numeric, logical. There is one special data type to R and it is called factor. And what is that? So you should know that there are some practical uses of that data type. So far you have done this, no? We want to give certain categories, we wanted to correct, we wanted to update, we have done that. We wanted to create a new category, we have done that as well. So all set so far. Moving to factor data type, let's correct. Okay, let's have a look. Here in the chat box, there is height vector as it was before, as it was in the earlier. We have not added anything. It is just like the before one, and we are printing it. Then we are converting it to as factor, and let's see what happens when it becomes a factor variable. Okay, you realize that something is happening here. See, I entered some character values to heights, and if I print, well, it is the way it is. However, when I convert this to as factors, if I convert this to a factor, now heights as character was this kind of thing. Now this is factor heights, fact height, I'm calling it. I see some difference in the print results. Okay, what's happening is one thing you will notice: double quotes are gone. These double quotes are gone. That means this is no longer a character. This is something else now. Second thing, you are seeing something called levels. Within levels, it is saying medium, short, tall. What is happening here is, say, when R was developed to deal with data. R was especially developed, you know, it was kept in mind that we are creating this language to for data analysis, for statistical analysis, to crunch lots of data. So data contains, we already have gone through it. A data can have two kinds of variables, two kinds of columns. One is categorical, right? What else? Another one is continuous. So if when we are talking in terms of data analysis, we will have these kind of variables. Yes or no? We talked about this. There can be categorical variables. What are others? What are the subcategories within categorical variables? Can somebody just help me out? Just remind me quickly. What were the different types of categorical variables possible? Yes, exactly. Nominal, ordinal, interval. Right? We discussed these things in ample detail. So not walking you through all of that again, but broadly there are two kinds. So what will happen is when it is a numeric variable, when it is data type is numeric, R will consider it as continuous variable as long as its data type is numeric. If you have a variable and its data type is numeric, R is happy with that. It will operate all numeric functions and no problem. Then there are categorical variables. How would R understand that this is categorical variable? It can be either character or it can be factor. And if it is factor, R takes certain liberty and understands that when it is factor, it will display several things. For example, this be the case, the current case. I am printing a factor. It is telling you, okay, these are categories. When it is categorical variable, it must be containing some categories. It is mentioning those categories. That these are the categories in this variable. So the elements maybe 8, maybe 10, maybe 10,000, doesn't matter. There are this many categories in this categorical variable. So that is one utility of factor. Okay, fair. Then another happy thing which happens with factor data type is just run along this. There is a function, there is a powerful function which is summary here in the chat box. If we see summary of anything, if I run summary by anything, it is going to give me certain information. So just have a look. What if I want to see summary of a numeric vector? What happens when I see summary of a character vector? What happens when I see summary of a factor value? So all three are there. All three are present there. Just run it along and do tell me. Do tell me what you get out of it. You are getting these things, right? Maybe I'm using some different value, but yes, summary function is powerful function which gives you certain edge, which gives you multiple information in one go. Let's see. However, let's see. If I use summary on a numeric vector, well, it gives me very fair information in this vector who is minimum, who is maximum, who is mean, arithmetic mean, who is median, and there are something called first quantile or third quantile. So you don't have to worry about it, but for the sake of just for the sake of fun or just for the sake of information, I would like to know. So who knows these things? First quantile, third quantile, what are they? Even if you don't know, you are not expected to have this depth of knowledge. If you are not very thorough about it, don't worry. We will come to that. So there is an entire chapter for that. There is an entire module for this mathematics thing. But I want to see those who know. If you don't know, okay, chill, lay back. Those who know, so there's okay, Ashutosh, Jyoti, Nikhil, Jagdish. Okay, okay, very fine. So we will come to those later. But all in all, what is happening is you are getting way much information about your vector. How could have you gained this knowledge? You would have to run these functions differently. Hmm. If you want to see max, maybe max function. If you want to see min function. If you want to calculate average, say mean function. Summary function is giving a quick overview of entire vector in one go. Think about it. Can this vector be of length 10? Can it be of length 10,000? Can this vector be of length 10 million? Yeah, it can be. Be it of any length. You are going to get a clean summary with this function. Anyway, it is going to find you out. It is going to display minimum, maximum, this, that. What about summary of a logical vector here in the chat box? Maybe you can run it or maybe think about it. What I'm doing here is TFT. There are 5 values. I have combined them. So this is a vector now. This is a vector of logical values. I am seeing summary of a logical vector. End of the day. What would happen? It is not numeric now. If I do that, there in the chat box, maybe you can run along. What's happening? What's happening here? Yes, it is telling you that this is a logical vector. So mode means not mathematical mode. This is something else. So this is kind of think of this as the data type mode. So it is a vector of logical mode. And what are the frequencies of true and false here? How many are true? How many are false? So that is again a clean summary. What happened when it came to character vector? What happened when you checked summary of character vector? You have already done that, I think. What happened? Number of levels? I don't think so. Check this out now. Your height says no levels to levels. It will tell levels when it is factor. It is not factor yet. It is just character. Height height is character. Factor, when we converted it to factor, we kept a different variable name. So it is not the same. So when I check summary of height of character vector, you see, okay, length is 6 and class is character, but what else? No further information. Not something very useful. I just know the number of elements. Okay, so that is length basically, and the data type that's character. Okay, but no further information. However, when it comes to factors, what happens? We have done that too. When I run summary function on a factor variable, it, tells it tells me a very clean summary. Now this is very useful. It is telling me what are the categories here and how many observations in which category in this vector. It is very clearly telling me that okay, you have 6 observations here. 3 of them are medium, two are short, and one is tall. Yes or no? Now this seems to be making this way better information. Okay, so that is something good about factors. Is there any downside of factor data type? Somebody, Ashutosh and Jyoti, I am expecting something from you people. Is there any downside of factor data type? Okay, let's let's not do guesswork. Let's come to the solids. What will happen is factor. There were three categories: short, medium, and tall. And factor is working very fantastic with them. Now what happened? What happened a few moments ago? You remember this? You remember this tall, extra tall, beautiful girl? She came a few minutes ago, and character did not have any problem with her. Now factor is different. Factor is someone different. If I try to accommodate, if I try to accommodate this new category, what has happened? Pay attention. It is not error. It is warning. It's warning. What is warning? Invalid factor level. Factor shows some levels, no? So this is not a valid factor level. Who are valid factor level? Short, medium, and tall. Extra tall? No, I don't allow that. And it is saying NA generated. If I try to print what has happened on the seventh index, you see medium, short, short, tall, medium, mid. Seventh index, okay, seventh index, it is generated. It is there, but it is saying no, no, not extra tall. I cannot accommodate that. That will not happen. So this introduction to new category, this doesn't work with factors. Here in the chat box. Okay, all fine. So you cannot add a new category in if something is factor data type as such. So you have to add a new category in character data type and then convert it to factor. Okay, fine, Jyoti. If you want to do that, it can be done that way. But, however, seems like a lot of work. Think about it. We are analysts. I will every time I'll need to manipulate data or maybe add or any day I will have to use a new category. Maybe the case. Yes or no? So every time this is going to trouble me. This factor data type. Why should somebody create such a data type? This seems like a very wrong person. This seems like a very troublesome data type, troublesome person. Why why did creators have it here in the first place? So very well. We will pick up from here tomorrow and we will see. We have already seen there are some upsides and downsides. So we will discuss some more aspects of factor data type tomorrow onwards. Meanwhile, you can keep going on with your sword lessons. How is it going on sword? Somebody? All of you must be done with one exercise or two there. Tell me, is it helping? Is it okay? Three options. I will have to do it this way. Every time I will have to do I have to do with usual this way. Three options. Helping, boring, and what do you want to say? Okay. Okay, very fine. Very well. Fair enough. So mostly positive reviews. So it is good to see that it is useful. So very fine guys. Then let's wind up here today. And we'll connect not tomorrow. Meanwhile, I'll be sending you some exercise. We'll connect next week now. Meanwhile, I'll keep sending you some little exercises, just like I sent you a mail today. You will receive code in mail. You just have to copy paste and maybe run. Okay. So something on Sword, something on these codes, and maybe it will take you. If you had done some 3 4 lessons in Sword, maybe don't worry about it because it will take you into matrices. You have not seen matrix and data frames yet, so you will know when you are in trouble. Okay. When you stop getting the when you are clueless at the questions of Sword, you know that you should stop now. Okay, very fine, guys. All set. Bye bye and take care. Happy weekend.
Sir, I have a question. Hello.
Uh, yes, Anubhav, if there is any question, I will take question just for a couple minutes, and yes, others are free to leave. If there is not any question, you are free to leave. So bye bye to them. If you have a question, maybe stay. I'm just turning off recording, but I'll take it if there is a question.